Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all having an amazing day, an amazing Friday, and we're having a lot of things going on with the Star Wars franchise right now. We got, of course, John, George, and Dave gearing up for the Ahsoka Tano series, which, by the way, is all set and ready to debut by this August, and Rosario Dawson herself, just a couple of days ago, even said that her favorite episode is Chapter 5 of the Ahsoka Tano series, because there's something very special about it, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, over the years, we have seen that Star Wars has been, without a doubt, an emotional roller coaster, right? There's no denying this. We have seen what happened with the sequel trilogy movies, with, of course, Solo, and the Kenobi show, the Boba Fett show, and then you had Mando Season 2, of course, before all of that. That really was like the peak of Disney Plus, right? So when we're looking at everything like this, we know that just a couple of days ago, Disney announced 3 new Star Wars movies. They announced the Dave Filoni movie, the Rey-centered film, as well as Dawn of the Jedi by James Mangold. Later this year, we will be getting 3 more announcements that are going to be centered around the Old Republic era. We'll talk about that later too. Now, the thing about this is that a lot of fans have grown to love the character of Anakin Skywalker for various reasons. We all know that Anakin is a very complex character. Hayden Christensen really did a fantastic job, really just kind of crushing that role in Revenge of the Sith. As much as fans like to say that his acting was very off in certain areas, and that may be true, nobody else could play Anakin. I know that Paul Walker, surprisingly, was originally almost near getting the role, and he was actually cast aside because George Lucas felt he was too old to play, of course, Anakin. They even wanted Leonardo DiCaprio, and the list went on and on. However, what's interesting about this is that with actress Daisy Ridley now gearing up for her Rey-centered Star Wars film that is being written by Stephen Knight, it's noted that one of the big plans at Lucasfilm is currently putting together a big opportunity to be, of course, exploring Anakin Skywalker again on the big screen and to theaters for the fans to enjoy. Now, it's noted that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have already been in contact with Hayden Christensen to bring him onto the big screen once again, in 2 very big ways for the fans to witness. One has a lot to do with flashbacks planned for the Dave Filoni-centered Star Wars movie, and 2 has a lot to do with bringing Anakin back to theaters as a Force ghost in the present time within this new Star Wars movie that's being put together that will be centered on post-Return of the Jedi content. Hayden Christensen signed up for a movie deal around 4 months ago, we talked about this by the way, and it most likely alluded to this project in particular being led by Dave Filoni along with a couple of other writers coming on board for the film. Now, the film is set to be a gateway to create a new trilogy that will be respected to a new sequel trilogy, in a sense, by Dave and John to focus on new tales surrounding Luke, Ezra, Ahsoka, Din, Grogu, Sabine, Hera Syndulla, Thrawn, and more. To do, of course, with Anakin Skywalker as well in very big ways. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, this is very interesting stuff, and we talked about this post-celebration that we know that everything related to this Dave Filoni-centered Star Wars film is going to be the gateway to becoming a new Star Wars trilogy. Alright, this is something that they are doing. We talked about this even prior to the announcement that John and Dave are gearing up to creating their own Mandalorian trilogy. And basically what it really is going to be, it's going to be a new sequel trilogy. It's not going to just focus on Din Djarin and the Mandalorians. It's really going to be focusing on the Skywalkers as well, Ahsoka, Ezra, Thrawn, heir to the Empire, elements thrown in there a bit as well, and that is what's going to make this all the more special. So far, official announcement just lays it out as Dave Filoni's movie centering on the age of the New Republic, and there's a lot more to tell than that. Now, the thing about Hayden, what I love so much about Hayden Christensen is that he's signed on already for Ahsoka Season 1 and Season 2, and I'm not going to spoil anything, we'll talk about that in a separate video, and we have always done that. But Hayden is back, guys, just to let you know, for Ahsoka Season 1. And they are really trying to just make Hayden more and more prominent. So far, to this day, John and Dave never got to handle Anakin, and they will have their opportunity in Ahsoka come this August, as well as Darth Vader. That's as far as we'll go into that. But anyways, I digress. So Hayden, alright, at no surprise, has already signed up for his movie appearances also, and is also set to return as a Force Ghost in the upcoming Rey-centered Star Wars film that is being put together by Stephen Knight. The flashbacks by Anakin planned for the Dave Filoni-centered film are said to center on Clone Wars-era flashbacks, as well as new moments during and after Order 66, for the fans to witness new revelations surrounding Anakin once again. ILM will be using new de-aging technology on Hayden for these scenes that will be perfected by then, of course, apart from what they did in the Kenobi show, which had some flaws. And you know what, guys, that is true. In the Kenobi series, Hayden had some flaws in his face with the de-aging technology. It didn't look quite, normal. You saw some of the wrinkles there. You saw some of the, signs of aging on Hayden in some of the shots where it didn't seem quite like he was a 19-year-old, give or take. It just seemed a little odd there at times. But overall, that Clone Wars flashback in Kenobi was probably my favorite element of the show. So you're going to get a lot more of things like that by John and Dave. Moving on. Hayden is also set to appear in multiple upcoming shows provided by John and Dave for Star Wars as a whole, including The Mandalorian Season 4, for a full-on Luke and Anakin Skywalker reunion scene on the world of Ossus. Ossus, by the way, is that world that you do see in the Book of Boba Fett when Luke is building the Jedi Order up again. The Jedi Temple, the school, whatever have you. Now, guys, if they execute this well, this movie has the opportunity, or this trilogy has the opportunity, to really become something very special and near and dear to the fans. Look, as much as fans are criticizing The Mandalorian Season 3, and for valid reasons, I will agree, there's a lot of reasons why fans have problems with it, there's moments in there that really just show you that John and Dave have true talent when they're not pressed for time or deadlines or Kathleen Kennedy getting in the way at times. The Shadow Council in the latest episode was brilliant. I love that scene, great acting, and suspense. So anyways, we got a lot of things coming our way for Anakin. They want to make Anakin very prominent, not just in Ahsoka, but also, of course, in The Mandalorian and this new Dave Filoni-centered Star Wars film, as well as the Rey-centered Star Wars film, so let's not forget about that as well. So anyways, guys, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this, because there's a lot of thought going into this by John and Dave. They want to make sure that this Star Wars movie is going to be a very talented film, and they want to make sure that they don't end up like Kevin Feige or Patty Jenkins, where it gets cancelled. They don't want that to happen. And I'm sure, guys, it won't happen because it's Dave Filoni of all people. If Ahsoka turns out to be, like a home run, it's going to change the course of everything for his success. So anyways, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.